Solid. All right, so just a little housekeeping, because I did the acquiring asset for Dr. Rashad a bit incorrectly. So, like, the first time we did it right. But it wasn't a permanent, it wasn't adding him as a permanent asset. So, like, the last time when I think Cal's character used him, he shouldn't have been able to, basically. He should have, like, basically had to acquire the asset again, so he would have had to have, like, paid the fee, effectively. Like, the way you get a, like, permanent physiker is you have to, like, add them as a cohort, which you can do one of two ways. So there are two options here for you all. So one is wait until the crew upgrades a tier, and I believe one of the upgrades you can get is a cohort. And so one of the cohorts is an expert, and we can just, since Dr. Rashad has been created, we can just use him, or you can make another one if you want to.
No, sir. Dr. Rashad is the guy.
He's our guy.
You're not changing the MC of our infirmary. He's giving main character energy.
So that's option one. So just wait until you guys upgrade a tier and use that to permanently hire him. Basically, like, you're basically putting him on payroll, is what you're doing. Or option two is you can begin a long-term project to add him as a cohort, and that, of course, would free you to use your upgrade for something else. So it is up to y'all what you're wanting to do there.
Do we know how big a clock that would be, I guess?
I would say
I'm assuming it would be
6 to 8.
I would say, like, being charitable here, because I kind of messed that one up. I would say we'll start it as a 4 o'clock. We'll say maybe it was a 6, and you guys have gotten 2 filled in at this point.
Ooh,
I think that's fair.
Copy that.
Is that what you're wanting to do? Is start a clock?
I mean, I don't know. I've spent my downtimes. I think the only people who haven't is Lil J and Moon.
Yeah,
And like, personally, I would say we clear our heat before acquiring an asset in terms of priority, because it would take one potential mission to go from 0 wanted to wanted, and I don't want to be wanted. But to me, that's high priority. But
and also, like, you are one potential mission away from upgrading a tier as well, potentially, depending on however your next score goes in terms of rep.
Yeah, but then we'd have to spend all our potentially a vast majority of our gold for that, or coin.
That's true.
So why would us being at a 4 o'clock now affect our heat? I'm not understanding.
It doesn't. It's just we would have to choose to do one or the other with our downtime actions. So, like, you would spend your downtime action to fill the clock for the doctor versus clearing heat for the crew.
Yeah, I still don't see a problem with that, because we have 5 people. And then we could essentially spend a coin to do the clock, or how would
for sure. We could potentially do both. I'm just saying, for priority, I would put heat over the doctor for now, but potentially we can do both. I don't know.
It doesn't mean we need to use our downtime in that moment to get him. Like, we have the clock just so we know where we're at. I think that's fine as long as we have the clock.
Yeah, I am basically giving you the clock for free.
That's what I thought.
Instead of, like, like, normally, you would have needed to use the downtime to create the clock.
Right.
I'm giving that clock for free, but yeah, the next time you will need, or even if Moon wants to use some of her actions to increase the clock, then yeah, she'll have to spend that downtime action to do that.
Yeah, I'm fine with us just having our clock at where it is now, and then we'll do our. Well, he said he gave us at a 4 because we've already burned basically 2 actions.
Right, so it's 2 filled out of a 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so we have 4 left. Yeah, and that's fine, because then, depending on how we want to do it, we can wait for him, or we can. I think we should just wait for it, like you said. Anybody who's willing to use their term for like heat and for the doctor, I think is useful. But that's just me, and we don't need to even worry about them at that point. We have 4 more ticks left. We can just focus on other things and then save it for an additional downtime later down the road.
The other thing too, D, I wanted to ask about is like for character scoundrels that like how do we do downtime actions for people? For instance, if we get into a mission now, what would we do with Lil J? You know, like he has downtime actions.
They just don't use them. They're just not here.
Is it like he just doesn't get them?
Yeah.
Because like if he comes in next session and we're in the middle of a score, he would have like, you know, I think he's got 7 stress. Like,
sure. We would.
You should have been here, buddy.
like we would kind of just bang out what
Flashback
he did.
it or
Yeah, we would just bang out what he did for his downtime. You know, we wouldn't probably do as deep role play for it. You know, we would just be like, hey, what did you do? This. All right.
Okay.
Now you are here in the score at this point, or you know somehow, or you came in later.
We called in the cavalry.
Yeah. We just work around it. But if they're not here, they're just not on screen basically for this episode. Is what's happening.
Sounds good.
All right. So we are going with the clock plan. We got 4 left. So we will jump to Moon Yuna. You've got to do your crew advancement. Oh shit. The sheets aren't opening up. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to open up the manual one instead of the one from the
No.
It's not what I needed. Later, kid. There. No. All right, Whisper. All right, so from the last sessions you were a part of, both the downtime and the score, did Moon Yuna address a challenge with knowledge or arcane power? She absolutely did, twice. More than twice, really, but you only get up to 2. So you mark 2 XP wherever you want.
Okay. And that's just clicking my little ticks in, like, the big 3, right? Insight, prowess, or resolve. Okay.
That's correct.
Or your playbook.
Yeah, or playbook under next to abilities.
Okay. I'm trying to fill up resolve, so I did that.
Feel that.
Did Yuna express her beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? This one's a little trickier. Let me...
If I was going to argue, the only thing I would say that she did is when she pulled everybody back and people could kind of feel Ibagoth on the way back when we pulled through that because of the blood magic. That was kind of like who she is and what she has dedicated herself to.
I think it's a interesting point. What is the group consensus there?
Yeah,
I approve.
I don't have any negatives against that.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, from how the playbook describes it, your character's beliefs and drives are yours to define, session to session. So feel free to tell the group about them when you mark XP. So if you feel like that expressed her kind of her beliefs and drives, yeah, go ahead and mark an XP where you want to.
Once my little resolve thing is full, what does that mean? Anything? Is that good?
Yeah, so then you can choose to put a dot in any of the action points underneath it. So Attune, Command, Consort, or Sway, you can put in a new dot anywhere you want to there.
All right, crew. I already have 2 in Attune. Is there any of those other 3, Command, Consort, Sway, that y'all would vote for? Why?
Explain your reasoning.
I mean, I think all of those are good. I literally think any choice is good. I think you could get a 3rd dot in Attune if you want. I mean, you use it a shit ton.
I do.
If you want to start doing more commanding, consorting, or swaying, then there's motivation for that.
I guess the question is how do you want to play your character? Do you want to be a specialist and only focus in that way? Or do you want to start being able to make connections and doing different things? Or do you want to just be an intimidating witch?
I mean, intimidating witch is definitely the vibe. Resolve is going to be where she's very heavy.
Yeah, command would be what you would want.
I think Attune will also make sense eventually, but I was kind of leaning command so she can be scary lady.
Oh, 100%.
Dig it.
All right.
Dig it, I dig it. And then, did she struggle with issues from her vice or traumas during the session?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think that was kind of something we were talking about last time too, where we didn't really delve into their traumas. The folks that had them, at least.
Well, we didn't really struggle either.
Yeah, that too. Like you guys did it pretty cleanly. So,
well,
the dice were singing for you that day.
That's definitely one of the things too, where we're not giving ourselves a challenge in a sense. Like for I guess when we have the traumas and stuff, like how are we gonna play through them? And I guess that's something the individual has to determine how they want to bring it to the story. At the moment we're not hitting it because we're still trying to learn the rules.
Well, I mean, so many people don't even have traumas yet.
Also that.
Yeah, no, because we only have 2 people with traumas.
3 now. Banshee got paranoid last
I
time.
self-traumatized.
Oh, you got welcome.
Thank
Here
you.
comes the glitching, hardcore.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely play with it.
Totally. Yeah. We are in no rush with it all. Still trying to learn it all. So, but I think that is true advancement done for Yuna, and so then we just move on to her downtime stuff. And we did some of the a little bit of role play last time in terms of like just describing what like when you get back from a mission, like kind of like the immediate decompress, not necessarily her vice indulging, but like I think Yuki, you went and like kind of like meditated and like kind of like washed yourself clean. Banshee, I think you just kind of like just went to sleep, like you just fell out.
I did some snacking first, and then
and then Dre, I think like kind of just like redid the heist in his mind, started doing like a bunch of study, and
He studied the tape.
yeah. He studied the tapes basically. And Lil J, I think, just went and like hit the bag basically is what he did. So like when you get back from a mission, what does Moon Yuna do?
I imagine she is probably most similar to Banshee. I don't know if there would be a lot of snacking per se, but just like, especially after this last one where it was like, here, you're gonna port us in and then you're gonna port us out and you're gonna do all of this magic stuff. I just envision that being really taxing. So it would really be like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm gonna go to my bedroom. I don't even know if I'm gonna like clean the blood off of my hand. I'm just gonna get in my jammies and go to bed.
She's all out of spoons for the day.
Right, all done. Like, just don't talk to me anymore. Don't ask me to magic anything. I'm going to bed.
Totally, and I think we described the tower last time that like the first floor was like a common area. That's like where your kitchen, your dining table, like kind of where the group meets is there, and then like each floor is just a different, like either somebody's room or the training area or something like that. So 1 second. Excuse me. So yeah, does she indulge her vice
Yes.
the next day? So we have not gone into Moon Yuna's indulgence. I don't believe, have we?
No.
So what we've got to do actually first is if you go to the guidebook, there is a page, Vice Purveyors, page 57. And under one of the faith purveyors, which one of those would Moon Yuna kind of gravitate to? That's going to be the main source of her vice indulgence for right now.
Where am I looking again? I'm sorry.
In the TPW
Okay.
guidebook, page 57.
Probably Anoka? Is that how we pronounce that? The Shrine to Forgotten Gods, since Ibagoth isn't really like well known under faith.
Yeah. Honoka. That's how I pronounce it out. Mo?
It's however the hell we want.
How are we pronouncing it right? Honoka?
How is it spelled?
Honoka? Honoka?
Yep.
Is that correct?
Honoka.
Correct.
Honoka is what YouTube just said.
Honoka.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna say that in Japan. Honoka. Honoka.
Oh, you know what? Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, the next day, you get up, you see everyone's kind of filing out like kind of at the same time as you're kind of getting up. You see Yuki is dressed to the nines. He's looking real sharp. He's heading out. Followed soon after by Dre and then Banshee. They all kind of leave, going their separate ways to do their own thing for the day. And so, have you met?
Ask if you need anything before I leave.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, because like I went through everybody and I talked to Banshee before I left. Talked to Little J. Obviously, me and Dre dapped up before we walked away. I definitely would have came to you like afterwards to check on your hand, and been like, is there anything you need while I'm out? I'll be out for. I'm hoping for a day, but if you need anything, I'll grab whatever you need.
I appreciate the offer, but I lack for nothing.
Of course. Make sure you keep on that hand. Need some of your magics for later. I'm assuming.
She would kind of just look at her hand and shrug. She's not really worried about it.
And then just bow and just bounce. Got a little pep in my step.
Somebody's feeling good.
He's going to a fun meeting.
Indeed.
So have you been to this shrine before? Or is this a new location that she is traveling towards?
I think she would have been there before.
Okay.
It's not like a super long-term relationship, but like I imagine like after making her way here, this is probably where she has come to try and connect with her god.
Okay. So she's been here before, and I think last time there was nobody there, but this time you do see kind of a familiar like outline as you come closer, and you see the woman who spoke to you on the road. She is kneeling at the shrine, and as you sort of come closer, she lifts her head. The veil kind of ruffles very lightly, and she says, "Welcome, Moon Yuna. I am pleased to see you have come to offer supplication."
She's looking at her, but she would just do the little nod and wait and see if she's going to keep talking.
And she just kind of like gestures for you to move up to her. "We shall offer ourselves to Ivagoth. Are you ready, Moon Yuna?"
I'm envisioning this lady like kneeling, so she would like just kneel and mimic her pose to indicate like, bring it on. Like, yeah,
Sure.
I'm ready.
So we will indulge your vice, and I believe that is your weakest attribute rating, which is either insight or prowess. And whatever you roll is how much stress you clear. Oh, I think you overindulge.
Of course I do.
Oh man, our first overindulgence. Interesting. Very interesting. So
Damn, you did have fucking 5.
okay.
See, you should have helped somebody else out.
Our first overindulgence. So let's me pull up that, because that is some interesting things can happen there. Let's see here. Do vice, where are you? There we go. All right, so if your vice roll clears more stress levels than you had marked, you overindulge. So when you overindulge, you make a bad call because of your vice, in acquiring it or while under its influence. To bring the effect of this bad decision into the game, select an overindulgence from the list. You either attract trouble, you brag about your exploits, you become lost, so the character just vanishes for a few weeks, or you are tapped. Your purveyor cuts you off. So before we get into what happens, what does this ritual look like, and then what does the overindulgence look like?
I feel like in my head and it would be interesting because there's this lady who's supposedly going to guide her now, so maybe it wouldn't be so chaotic, but like, this is an unknown god that has just literally talked to her in her head. Right. So she tries to go and tap into that space with her like attunement and tries to get that god to talk to her again. And basically, whatever the god tells her to do, she's like, yeah, I'm down. If it was like, go kill a chicken, and I'm pulling different symbology, but go kill a chicken and make a pentagram in blood, like on the street, like she totally would do it. So that, like, it's not to say that it's that extreme, it's just that's what she's trying to do, is tap in and like hear that voice again.
Okay, so she has not heard the voice since like that first initial thing. So like, what is she doing right now? Like, Honoka is guiding her, but like, how do you vision like what they're doing right now? Like, what do you see them as like engaging in? Like, are they just like cutting hand? Are they just like feeding blood? Are they sacrificing something? Are they just doing like random prayers? What do you see them doing right here?
I would sort of envision it starting as like basic meditation, right? Like, we are clearing our minds, we are trying to tap into that piece of ourselves, and starting small. We're not going to go straight to sacrificing children. We're not heathens here. But like, we're going to be making offerings. Like, is this a god who appreciates alcohol? Is this a god that wants incense? Is this a god that needs blood? Like, on down that line of like trying different ways to make that connection again.
Okay.
And in my head, just because I see that the shrine is also like a house for gambling, like I can totally see being like, here, I'm gonna try this fancy booze and we're gonna pour one out for my Ibagoth friend. And
Sorry, that was a mistake. That was
my bad. I thought it was funny. Like, they're doing everything at the Shrine of Forgotten Gods.
I mean, we can say that they do that too. That would be fine. That was just a mistake on my part. I think that would be funny.
All the Forgotten Gods might be a gambling god, might be the god of death. We don't know. So we're just appeasing all of them.
Sure. No, I think we can roll with that for sure. Yeah. So you guys are kind of doing this. She's kind of leading you in this meditation then, and it's fairly simple. It's just kind of like mantras, effectively. And you're kind of saying really kind of like a bunch of nonsense words. Like it feels like it's an old language, and she's just kind of leading you to repeat her patterns. And it does start to seep into your head. You do start to like feel it, like almost like kind of not possessing you, but like almost like seeping into your very being. So as that's happening, like what does the overindulgence look like? Like you are kind of like fully engaged in this at this point. So what is the overindulgence now?
So we can debate this, but when it was like the character gets lost, like if I heard Ibagoth tell me to go do something, I would disappear if that's what it took. Like, go do XYZ thing in this different province, blah, blah, blah. Bye. She's not telling anybody anything. She's gonna be like, okay, this is what my god told me to do. And I can envision that being an overindulgence because she's not thinking about herself anymore. She is just, once again, kind of tuned into this high she gets from being this conduit or whatever. And
sure.
Bye.
So the consequence there is we can either time skip to Yuna returning to the crew, or you can create a new character for this next score, whatever happens. Or if you don't want to do that, then if we start another score, then it'll just be Banshee and Shadow. What are we wanting to do there?
How do y'all feel?
I'm good with any of those options.
I say my preference would be time skip, but I'm open to whatever.
I'm trying to, let me look at some real quick. Because I think we had one potential job available, if I remember right, but...
Yeah, the one that you've been craving.
Technically two. I don't know if Yuna has brought it up to y'all yet.
There's one I have too.
I think the only one that we had on a timer was the Ashikaga mission score.
Yeah, that was the latest one. You guys got the job offer from Parthena, but that's not on a timer until you actually go and meet with Emmeline to accept the job.
Is that the live streamer?
No, the live streamer is
the techie was the live streamer. No, Yuna's is the live streamer.
Yuna's is the live streamer.
Okay, I need to do a better job of tracking my potential scores here. Clearly.
No, and I'll start putting them in the leads and jobs deal. I've been forgetting to do that when I make them. But yeah, if that's that. But for the time being, no, there is nothing with a hard time limit at the moment.
Yeah, there's no penalty for us then, really, for time skipping.
Okay, so yeah, let's kind of work this. Yuna just disappears for a couple weeks. So yeah, she kind of gets into this almost like fugue state, I would say. And again, she's not hearing Ivagoth's voice quite yet. it's almost like frustratingly close. Like she it's like she can almost hear something, or she thinks she can almost hear something, but it's just not happening.
It's like static on the radio, and if I could just tune it right, I know that I could hear it.
So she disappeared. Like, where does she go? Like, where does she end up wandering off to?
I know she's not hearing whatever, but she is tuned in. It's seeped in, and if there's any sort of like pull, she's following it. Now, whether she's making up that pull or not, I don't know. But just like following this pull, so I don't know.
She's just following her vibe.
Yeah, like where do I? It's like in Princess Bride where they're trying to find the knob to get into the tree. We're just we're letting it guide us, and here, this is where we're gonna go. Okay, go that way.
I think just a fun scene. Like we see kind of like this over these couple of weeks are going by. We see Yuna in just different parts of Shinin, you know, and at one point we see her even like passing by Mashisa as Yuko is out there trying to grab people in. She even tries to get Yuna in, but Yuna is just she's in her own world.
Yuna would probably look and be like, "You smell weird because you do weird things, but no, the vibe ain't quite right."
Like, you're not Yvagoth vibes.
No.
So she's moving on. But that clears your stress. It also heals the harm that you had as well. Your harm is also gone.
I just needed a vacation, guys.
Yeah.
So she is So with our other
planned vacation.
So let's roll back a couple weeks. So Yuna is just now wandering off into the distance. Banshee and Shadow. What do y'all two doing these couple weeks? Like maybe even like a few days go by, and you notice like Yuna's just not showing up.
Okay.
Like she's usually, I would assume she's usually back at least every couple of days.
Right.
But she's been gone unnaturally long at this point.
Are we under the assumption that we're gonna be taking this downtime for a bit? Like after a couple of days, we're like, yo, should we just wait until she comes back?
I don't know. Like, I guess.
Yeah, it's what would y'all's characters do for that time? We are in a free play at this point, so. Okay. How would they react to would they even really be concerned at this point?
I'm trying to think, do we know how long the crew has been together? Has it even been weeks?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I thought that was one of the questions that I asked. Like, how long have we been this ragtag team? Because we obviously don't know much about, like, Banshee. Banshee doesn't tell us her name. We just know she goes by Banshee. So it's obviously like we don't know each other super well, but we're comfortable around each other.
Well, and you guys could have maybe like ran jobs together as freelancers, and then kind of decided to form this crew. So maybe you had relationships prior to the crew forming. This is just sort of a solidification of it.
I kind of like that idea too, like either freelancing or like maybe we had our own individual jobs, and then like we knew of each other and was like, hey, will you help me out with this? I'll pay you. And then like we built a rapport based off of that. I kind of enjoy that idea. Honestly, man, like I would say less than a year if we're gonna go kind of by that standards of us.
I mean, I was thinking like I was thinking 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Like still super fresh.
In the middle, 6 months.
Just something to where it's like we're still setting up the hideout, you know, like it's not in the state that we want it in yet, and we haven't done a bunch of jobs yet. So I'm just like, I'm trying to figure that out because
these could be like the main jobs that made our thing. Like we've probably done like other smaller ones, and then maybe in between those, like we've all had our quirks. Like you've obviously seen me disappear for a couple days after I need to get a vice in. Maybe it's the same thing with Moon. Like she's disappeared for a little bit, so maybe it's not something that we're too worried about.
Yeah, maybe this has been a regular occurrence.
Right. And,
Yeah,
and that's,
maybe she
up,
kinda
and
wanders
that's
off.
up to you, Maggie. If this is something
that fits the vibe, right?
Okay.
Like I said, I'm kind of going for a Bellatrix vibe, where like she is just
yeah.
not quite all the way there. So yeah, like she's
I can dig
useful and she has her place in the crew, but yeah, I could see you guys just being like, well, I don't know where she went, but she'll be back when she wants to be, I guess.
Nah, for sure.
I guess
She
is
can
there?
get caught in a different
I would
dimension.
definitely go back to Hokkaido.
Okay, so you would actually go back home for a little bit.
I would.
I actually got something for that.
Nice.
So we'll hang on to that. If Travis had anything,
I was
You
just
want
gonna
to say?
ask: is there like as a crew, do we have like a status board where it's like Yuna's out vicing or something? So it's like, okay, if she's doing this and she's gone for a while, we shouldn't really be worried, or like we shouldn't try to go track her down or whatever, right? But if it's just like out shopping for the day and then she disappears, then it's like, we should probably go look for her.
We need, keeping the Harry Potter
definitely
theme,
like
we need
that.
the Weasley clock that lets you know, like, am I
100%.
out vicing or am I in
Well, I
mortal
mean,
peril?
We are an
Or are they
assassin
both?
crew, right? So it's like we got ops, right? So it's like we need to know if we need to go save someone from the ops,
I mean, that's maybe something a crafting project,
And it's actually something I wanted to bring up to Banshee, because I like seeing how useful that sigil was. I feel as though I might need to tap into that.
Might need to upgrade, huh? Might need to get you some
Brother,
get some gear.
I saw the usefulness, and I was like, tactfully, it would be good for us to stay silent. And mind you, I'm thinking of Ghost in the Shell. Like they don't talk; they just they have that connection through their I guess it's not telepathy, but it's like their audio or whatever.
through
and I like that.
meta, bro.
I think that dude, whatever. Like if
Through
you've
the
seen Ghost in
Matrix.
the Shell, you know exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. And I like that idea, but like I would have asked you information about it, and then I think I would go back home to see if there's ways that they could do it for me.
So I will say, like, it was basically talking like a cell phone. It wasn't like telepathy. We can say that's an upgrade that can happen, for sure. But I think that would be like, I think to acquire that would be either getting like either a higher tier, like actually gaining a turf asset to get that, to actually like get that upgrade, or like a long-term project to craft something with that.
I like that idea to do it. I love doing the projects. So
Sure.
I think it would be cool to actively talk to my clan to see if I can get like a shadow sigil, one that's like off the books but I can use, or something similar. Kind of like a burner.
Yeah. So if you look at the patch notes, because he's wanting to put in Magitech is what he's wanting to do.
Ooh.
If you look at the Magitech costs, now this was placeholder for the time being, but I think the tier 0 stuff, which is what y'all would have access to right now, would be 1 to 5 coin, depending on what he's trying to do. So, like, is he wanting to get the actual Magitech or the sigil implant? Because the sigil implants will let you like connect to the internet effectively. But if you were wanting like the thing that could boost his stealth, that would be the Magitech.
It would be the Magitech, but I would still want the sigil too.
Oh, okay. So you want both of those.
Why not both?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, eventually, like, but right now for the Magitech to boost stealth would be kind of hard. But let me think on it. Like, regardless, I wanted to go back home. There's a reason why.
Yeah. So yeah, we will. So you travel back home to and like ninja villages like in Shinin are. I guess it just depends on like both the wealth and the area. Like they are usually situated like in apartment blocks or like they usually will have a section of the city that is theirs, right? Like where most of the people that are in the area are reasonably of that, even if like the average passerby wouldn't know that. So when he goes back home to Hokkaido, what is his what is the village kind of like?
Oh man, I had like a couple ideas. So I'm thinking that the village is going to be kind of like resort districts. And I say resort districts to where it's all like it's where like the higher class society members come in to basically relax and get their mud baths, their massages, and things of that nature. Think of Spirited Away, where the hot baths and stuff like that.
Yeah, like a red light district.
It's
kind of a deal.
It's red light, but it's not the majority of it's not the sexual part. It's more of the just the relaxing and recuperating. So
I see.
yeah.
So more like a high what do you call it? High end hot spring kind of a deal.
Pretty much, because I imagine that there's like the various different hot spring bath areas, and then inside that, they get their drinks and their foods and stuff like that. They get their massages and things of that nature. And again, in those moments, those are the moments to where people come in and they're like, I need this done. And it's and stuff like that. So that's just the cover. But
so the Yamakagi are working, or they moonlight as like hotel or
it would basically be a hotel and that kind of like
hospitality.
Hospitality.
Thank you, Jiminy freaking Christmas.
We got there.
Yeah, we got there. And I'm about to put that in my thing too. But yeah, that's where they go. So basically, it's gonna be kind of like the main hotel building where it's noticeable that it's a high class, but I don't go through the front.
Sure.
I go through the basically the employees, the employees' interests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
is who would have been Yuki's like his main teacher? I would assume he'd have several, but like who was his main?
His main teacher is Shinobu Kanrei or Kanrei. I'll put that in the chat for you. He's known as the Sovereign Blade. He's basically the clan enforcer. He's my father's right-hand man. Let me put his name in for you. Because my father's is Yamakagi Tenrai. And this has been like his brother before his brother passed away, kind of like it's his brother without blood.
His father's brother.
Well, it's not his real brother, but
that's what I'm saying. Like his father, like it's like his blood brother kind of a thing.
Pretty much, yeah. He's the guy that basically he does the job that nobody could do.
Okay, so he is He is elite.
Yeah.
Shinobu Conrad. How old is he?
At the I would say right now he's probably in his early 60s, where my father is in his, like, he's about to be in his 70s.
Okay, so late 60s.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Oops. Shinobu Conrad, early 60s. Friend and brother, non-related to Tenrai. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, Chemo, I have to know, did you just make that up?
No,
Right off the top of your... I was going to be so impressed, like,
No.
my storytelling is terrible.
Well, like real talk, while you were giving us like your description, I was like, I'm kind of sick of not having like a little bit more information on my character. So I was like, let me start building some stuff. Let me add some stuff. And then it was the same thing to where it's like, I need to start making my beliefs and stuff like that per session.
Right. Yeah.
So that like I can role play these moments out and things of that nature. Because I was like,
Need more XP.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool for the XP, but like I need to connect more to my character. You know, so I have like, you know, an idea of where I want to go.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, how do you envision Shinobu looking? Like, just a brief description of him.
So Shinobu has been in quite a few combats. So like, if I had to give him a description, he's probably a solid like 5'11". He's stout and muscular. If I had to give him a weight, he'd probably be like a solid 200. He has short cropped hair, kind of like that Yakuza like cut on the Buzz for the Enforcer.
Sure.
He definitely has like an eye patch that covers a magical eye. But only I know, my father knows, because like I know because he used it against me. It's kind of that moment where Kakashi was like that and then did that whole thing. He got me with it. Yeah, and it's definitely peppered. He's, you know, probably like half of it is starting to go a little bit white. It makes him look a little
gray.
Yeah, it makes him look a little bit more rugged. He definitely has he kind of his idea of I guess being the head chef of this hotel and stuff like that. So he keeps himself pretty clean shaven because he's back there cooking. He definitely likes doing that. That it basically keeps his hands, you know, pretty crispy.
Gotcha. Sick. Yeah. So, excuse me. With all of that set up, we come back to Yuki. He comes back to the homestead and slips in through the employee entrance. Get a bunch of you know what's ups. Hey family, you know, welcome back Yuki. And then as you're walking through, you know, a few couple passes by you, you know, just familiar face says, "Oh, hey, Gunnery, looking for you. Heard you're back." In the usual spot.
Perfect. Head back to the kitchen area and stuff like that. And
you see him.
Hear the hustle and bustle of it and everything.
And you see him, you know, he's back there working, and you know, without missing a beat, he says, "Put the gloves on, get to work."
Hi, OG. Put the gloves on, start working. Doing a little bit of the normal thing, but like I pull up a little bit closer to him and I was like, "Anything new?"
We'll talk later. I have very important business with you. This is good. You are on the right track. We're going to put you on the best track.
Good. Okay.
So you guys work through you work through the shift, do all the cleanup, all that shit, and then he takes you down to. I assume there'd be like a sub basement full of all the actual like training facilities and shit like that.
Yeah, buddy.
And so he takes you down there. He takes you actually back down to probably the furthest part of it, where like the sort of what you call it? Maybe you tell me, like would the furthest part down be like where like the ritual spot for the Great Shadow happens? Like this is sort of like its antechamber of where you guys would practice.
Yeah, I definitely think it would be, and to be honest, like when getting down there, it's only in darkness.
Awesome, I love it. So you get down there, and he kind of, you almost kind of feel like he himself is also like the tension almost kind of like leaves him when he's in that darkness. It does not enough to like be passive, but like just barely enough. You kind of feel that ease of tension coming off of Conray. Like he very much so enjoys and loves being within that kind of darkness more than any kind of exposure.
I think like when we get down there, so like say if, I imagine like the elevator comes down and it's like ding, it opens up and it's just pitch black, and like stepping into the darkness, like I just like let go of that human form, and I fully embrace like the Yamakage Oni form, and I just let it just like take over my body while stepping into the darkness.
And as and I say he follows suit. Does the same. It's kind of where you can. It's almost like letting your hair.
Pretty. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So he does it, and he just goes. It's good to see you again, young man. You're looking good.
Kind of. I gotta give him a hug. It's been a while. He, OG.
Xiangxi treating you well?
It's okay. I got a pretty good squad. I'm pretty sure you've heard about it.
A pretty solid team you've built out there.
Yeah. And pulling out some of the crystals. I got some more souls for the Great One. I keep that going.
That is what I want to speak to you about today. You have been doing well in your sacrifices and offerings to the Great Shadow. It is time for you to step up to the next level. I want you to continue what you're doing. But there is more to learn of the Great Shadow through this. I want you to meditate on the Great Shadow as you do not simply feed it. I know you are doing your meditations, but I want you to dive deeper. Seek more answers from the Great Shadow. Find its true nature and what it really means to be one with the Shadow, Yuki. When you do this, you will ascend to the next level of understanding. Am I being clear to you?
Yes.
You're on the right path. Continue to find sacrifices, offer them as many as you can. You will come to the truth soon enough.
Okay. If meditation is what I need, then the best way to focus is to get back into another lesson with you, if that is okay. And he like does it in a stance. You know what I mean, OG.
Of course. Let us meditate, young man. And I shall show you a bit of the truth of the Shadow.
And then fade. And then we just go away.
So
meditate can mean so many different things in this world.
So I'm gonna start a clock for Yuki. That is find the truth of the Great Shadow. It's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a 10 clock.
Ooh.
but that will be up to Yuki how he attempts to fulfill that.
This is where I'm gonna start building on my beliefs and stuff, guys.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You guys will never believe what I just discovered while you were doing all that.
What's that?
My microphone was my DualSense controller, not my headset.
No.
It was
Bro,
connecting.
I don't know what the fuck happened. I was looking at the audio and it's doing all this weird shit, and I was like, why is it acting like a fan is blowing on it or something in here? And I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway.
No, the DualSense headphones have caught me as well.
Dude.
Super annoying. Super
Oh
annoying.
my god. Anyway.
So yeah, Banshee. What is Banshee up to for these couple weeks while Yuki is traveling abroad and Yuna is wandering the city?
Communing with God, sort of.
Yes. I don't know, probably some paranoia shit, I would guess. Yeah, especially like 2 weeks of downtime. I would have, and basically the last thing she's done is discover that her mother-in-law is searching for her. I think she would basically just sit in fucking different bars and try to listen for someone saying her name or some shit. Like just
Okay.
literally on a bender for weeks.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's solid. Yuna, I'm actually gonna fill in two. Well, actually, I wonder if I should do 3 because you got that 6. I think that would be fun. For your prayers to Evagoth clock. And I think that would be fun to count that towards it, because I feel like that's what she would be doing for this whole time, basically.
She's gonna come back a hot mess and like bloody feet and all this fun stuff, and then be really demanding about like, we have to go kill this live streamer now.
So Banshee, just for an action roll, like for these couple, kind of like to encompass these couple of weeks and what she's doing. What do you think you would use for that, for her kind of like just very paranoidly listening out?
I think survey, I guess, would be the closest thing. So it's like going into the bar, trying to do her best like Strider imitation in the bar with like a fucking cyber pipe and
Yeah, totally. I think maybe a little risky because she is kind of, it seems like she's on edge, so it seems like she could potentially pop off on somebody. So I think just like risky standard for that. We'll just kind of see what she does. Hey, sick. So that I'm actually gonna also fill in some things on the pie for locating Rathal Dara. And you're on this bender during this time, and you feel like you're hearing voices, and maybe you like even like kind of like go up to people and start harassing them, but you're not really getting information. People just kind of freak out, or they try to fight back, but you're not getting anything, any kind of useful info.
Sure.
But like maybe like a week or so later, I would say that Etsu kind of gets you on the horn, and she says, "Hey, I may have a lead on shit. What was her name? Priya. Pyria.
Yes.
So I may have a lead on Pyria, or at least on like people that are working for her. But it comes with an issue. You got to do a job if you want to get the info.
What's the job?
So you're gonna need to head down to Iwahara. Someone needs some. Basically, you're gonna be blowing up some the client's competitors' resources. I can't give who the client is, but the one you're going to be going up against is God, I keep forgetting their name. I'm sorry. Fucking Ebony Abyss or Ebony Hill. I'm sorry. You're going to be going into one of their factories and doing a little bit of damage. Of course, if you're looking for pay, well, you're not going to get any. The pay is the information on this one. We want the info. We got to do the job.
Is there a timeline?
Well, I can get back to you on that, but so far it doesn't seem like it. If I had to wager a guess, what's up?
We're a man down right now, and I don't really know anybody that blows shit up that'll do it for free. So I'm gonna have to find that.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see if we can if there's a time limit or not. If there is, I'll let you know. But if not, then I'll let them know that you're interested at least, and to keep the line open. But when I get more details, I'll let you know.
And this isn't it's not a trap.
I mean, as far as I know.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that too.
Doing what I can for you, sis. Talk to you later.
See ya.
I think you're still on Gunny.
Was I?
You're still,
I should have
I think
been.
you're on Gunny. I think you're on the Gunny voice.
This
You were
is
very deep.
definitely not Gunny.
This is Gunny.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it
really?
is
This is-
different, yeah.
Oh.
Son of a bitch, it switched to a man.
Bro, I gotta check so many fucking audio things before we go live. God damn. Ridiculous, bro. Oh my
Say
god.
something for me in your new Banshee voice that's right, though. I didn't get to hear it last
New
week.
Banshee voice, that's right.
This
The
is the
lady.
new Banshee voice, that's right.
I like it.
You never heard Banshee? What are you talking about? Or are you talking about Gunny?
No, you said you changed a different voice.
No,
you
I
were
said I
talking about
introduced a new voice, which
Oh,
was
my bad.
Gunny's voice. And now my camera's
you-
fucked. What is everything? Ah!
Tech issues.
Bro. Oh my god. Ha! Thank
There you
There
God.
you are.
Hey,
I did it. You guys,
So,
everything's gonna work out, okay?
we're getting it. We're making it.
we're figuring it out.
Oh my god.
So let me see here. So yeah, so to basically to get more to continue putting pies on the locating Rathal Dara chart, you gotta run this score to basically unlock the remaining pies effectively.
Gotcha.
But
I
that
guess
is,
Banshee could blow stuff up. She has wreck.
yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest with you. I created that off the top, so
No, you're good.
I'll get more.
I like
I'll-
it because it's like outside of what this crew would normally do.
Totally.
You know,
totally.
like it's not normally what we do. So it's like, yeah, of course we're not especially ready for it, but it's information that
absolutely.
Banshee wants, right? So it's like
Exactly.
take it or leave it.
But yeah, I'll draw that score up a little more info for next time. But Yuna, as you so I say that that kind of encompasses the couple of weeks in Yuna as you are kind of coming down off of your god search. I guess she would kind of find herself back in Xiangxi at some point. And her friend is Nirix, right? Her ghost friend,
Mhm.
if I'm remembering correctly.
Correct.
And where does he usually like meet you? Is there a specific place, or does he just kind of pop up every now and again, just sort of wherever you're at?
I envision him kind of just popping up, kind of poltergeist-ish.
Mhm.
Like, he's about to show up when shit's flying off the shelf. And before he, like, actually manifests his little ghost self, it's like, tink, cat vibes. The cup just flew off the counter. Cool, we wait a minute. He doesn't get the attention he wants. Ding, the bell that's above the door starts ringing too. Like, oh, what's up, Nirix?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say as you're kind of maybe even like kind of strolling through Iwahara, and as you're walking through, like, yeah, that kind of thing is happening. Like, like a can gets kind of thrown out of nowhere at you, but it's Iwahara, so people are just assholes in the area anyway. So it's not really anything to kind of think about. But then, like, a sign falls down near you, and then more metal kind of gets thrown your way, to the point where you are kind of starting to notice that it is out of it is definitely very poltergeisty. Does she acknowledge it, or does she just kind of keep on trucking?
I would imagine it would take a lot as she's like coming down from this like buzz or whatever we want to call it that she's been on. But like, I can see him being even like, okay, we've thrown some stuff. I'm noticing this. Yank on the hair and then finally be like, hi, Nirix. and sounding totally like a crazy person as she's like talking to herself, walking through Irahara.
Oh, absolutely. You just mumble under herself. Nirix is trying to get her attention, and then like she finally acknowledges him. After I say he's probably been trying to get her attention for about an hour or so, and then he finally manifests himself, and he says, "Miss Yuna, so good to see you. How are you, my dear? You look a little worse for wear. Have you been wondering once more?"
That's not a way to greet a lady, Nirix.
My
Never
apologies.
comment on her complexion.
I'm so sorry. So very sorry. It has been quite some time since I've needed to be in polite company. You understand?
I will make an exception, but please mind your manners.
Of course, Miss Yuna, of course. In fact, if you may extend that grace for a moment longer. Just a moment longer, I beg of you. I beg a boon of you, Miss Yuna, if you will dare to listen to me. Deign to listen to me.
You have caught me on a good day, my dear friend. Speak away.
Wonderful. Please, as you can see, I am in this incorporeal prison, trapped within this spirit realm. I simply wish to feel the streets beneath my feet again, to breathe in the air once more, to see with eyes, I so dearly miss the feeling of skin wrapped around me. If I can be just a bit of a joke, little ghostly joke, if you will. I simply ask if you would be willing to acquire a vessel for me.
A temporary vessel? Permanent vessel? I'm gonna need some more details, my friend.
It's, I would love to say temporary, but, sometimes you move into a place and you like it a little bit more than you thought you would.
And your thoughts on this vessel? Are you looking for anything in particular?
I have the perfect specimen, a dashing young man of the Jing clan. Have you heard of them? They're quite new. They weren't around in my day.
Well, these clans, they rise and fall as the tides do, but I'm sure we could find this lovely specimen.
His name, I believe, is Riko Kashiwa. He is dashing, handsome, as I was in my day. That is why I caught him, has caught my eye so very much so. I believe this could be of help to you as well, Miss Yuna. Perhaps I could be a liaison, if you will, within the clan, if you were able to bring him to me alive. He must be alive when you bring him to me. But
alive is okay. How undamaged are we talking?
Well, I'm going to be housed within the vessel. I would prefer there to be as minimal damage as possible, please.
Vessels don't always come willingly. I have to ask.
You and your accomplices, if I may, you seem very capable. I am sure you'd be able to extract the young dashing man with little trouble. I assure you. You are all very capable. I just simply need him alive and as in good condition as you can possibly make him. And this is not, I should say, this is not, I'm not asking the boon for free, of course. If I know you and your compatriots, require. So, you
and I have a rapport, my friend, but my crew will expect something aside from friendship to pay the bills, as you know.
Of course, and I have many such stashes wrapped around the city. If you can bring this young man to the designated location, I can promise a stash of 10 coin on delivery. Now, if you're able to keep it quiet, I even have a couple of soul shards I can throw into the mix, if you will. They were quite illegal to have in my day. I don't know if this is still the case now.
It's not exactly looked upon kindly to have soul shards, but they do have their uses. My compatriots are not necessarily known for their quiet, but that might sweeten the pot enough to help keep their lips closed.
That is all I ask. Just something to sweeten the pot, if you will. Better that the alarms are not raised as well, so that I may inhabit the body and re-infiltrate into the Jing clan, fine and dandy, a useful ally within them for you as well. We all win in the end, yes?
I'm definitely intrigued. I do have to say, I will have to discuss it with my partners in crime, if you will. But I do not see it being something that they would turn down.
That is lovely, quite lovely. If you decide to do so, no need to tell me. Simply deliver the young man to, and he tells you the address. It's like a old rundown manor somewhere in Zhuyang. Simply deliver him there, and the rest will all come into place.
Are you working on a tight timeline, my friend, or can we have time to plan our strategy?
My friend, I am a spirit. I've got nothing but time to wait. Please, on your own accord, if you simply wish to do it. I simply ask you, consider it and bring it to your friends. I shall be waiting for the good news.
Always a pleasure, Nerix.
Always a pleasure, Miss Yuna. You take care of yourself, ma'am. And he just kind of disappears into the ghost field once more.
It's like the most Yuna has talked ever. It's a ghost talking to her damn self.
That is the most words we have heard of Yuna the entire game.
You're learning.
Rito Kashiwa.
So with that, I would say, what do you think? The crew reconvenes at some point. Everyone kind of shows back up at the tower. Maybe Yuna's the last one to kind of come strolling in through the door.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you guys haven't seen Yuna in a few weeks. What do you say when she comes back in?
Are you okay?
Where the hell have you been?
Where the hell have you been?
Here. We got jobs to do.
She would ignore Banshee because that's rude. Yuki actually asked how she was, so she would say, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I need to wash my feet, however. And then she would like wander off to go clean up because she's been wandering the city for weeks.
I literally look at Banshee like, that's it? That's all we get?
She's ridiculous. I mean, this is what we get for dealing with crazy. We work for crazy and then we get surprised when crazy acts crazy.
She would come back down though after probably, 20, 30 minutes. She's cleaned up. She's not in her
Why
ragged
are your
clothes
feet
anymore.
dirty? Do you not have shoes?
Got to feel the street, bro, to meet with Evagoth.
In my head, what happened was that, you go into a temple, you take your shoes off, she's kneeling at the altar with the other lady, and the spirit strikes her, and we just got up and went. Like, the shoes are still at the temple. I got new shoes.
I like it.
You goddamn remind you to put your shoes back on?
I do as Evagoth requests. Don't worry about my relationship. I will tell you what to worry about.
Okay. Alright. We don't generally, get in each other's business. As long as it doesn't mess with the business. I'm only a little perturbed. Bill's been put on hold for a couple of weeks. And I've been drinking a lot. So I'm a bit strapped for cash now. And my tummy hurts.
Well, you'll be happy to be informed then that I have leads on other jobs that I picked up on my travels that could result in 10 coin or more.
I happen to have a job for us that doesn't pay.
That doesn't sound like it's going to help you.
It might pay us down the road. It's a setup job, one might say.
Well, mine pays.
I mean, I prefer that. At least for the now.
World go round. Yeah.
We can get some money now and then perhaps do jobs that would perhaps pay in the future. It's like an investment.
I have multiple options. We could kill somebody or kidnap somebody. What are you feeling like doing today?
What pays the most?
I don't remember.
Let's see. I think they pay.
Pretend you remember.
So the one that the kidnapping job pays more.
That's what I guessed. The kidnapping job will pay you more. 10 coin plus some soul shards if we keep it quiet.
And for the exact number of shards, hold on. It would be 4 tier 2. If it is a contained or smooth operation.
I think she would just leave it at and some soul shards.
Sure.
I personally think we should do the kidnapping. I plan on taking a week and doing a ritual, and I think that would be the best thing for us to keep quiet.
You have to take a week off now too?
It is not a week off, my friend. Understand that during this week, it is a particular ritual that I will be partaking in that I will not be speaking for the entire week. It is a part of my training and meditation, and that this is important to me. And I think this would help with my training and connecting a little bit closer to my family.
When is this happening?
I would particularly would want to start as soon as possible, but we would still need to participate in some of the other things. I plan to
And you
start
just
tomorrow.
can't talk, right? You can
Yes,
write things down to communicate,
Oh.
yes?
Of course, and then you see him like create like shadowed words.
Well, then we can do a job with this. Well, we don't need to talk.
I understand. I just wanted you to understand some of the things that will be happening. It may seem odd to you, but for me, it is important that I practice this.
That's fine.
It is part of my training.
I mean, Lil J hardly talks too, so, you know.
No, of course. I am trying to connect to something very important to me.
I can
I'm glad that
appreciate
you
having a
guys-
connection.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you guys get to connect to so many things.
I believe you are speaking in sarcasm, and it is okay. We all have our different things, my friend.
Yeah.
You have
I
been
shall be
connecting with
preparing.
alcohol.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. I can smell it on you. I didn't want to say anything, but now that we are talking about it, I believe you should probably clean your stuff. You have a little dribble.
So during free play, remember you can gather info if you want. That is something you can do during free play. If Yuki is Yuki actually going to start doing an actual ritual like game wise?
Yes, this is his ritual called the Veil of Silence.
Okay.
So this is a part of his belief system in the Great Shadow, which I have now named Hatsukage. And the Great Shadow's name, Hatsukage, means the first shadow, the original shadow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put
Okay,
that in the chat for you so you know how to spell it.
Let's see.
Kage.
So hold on, let me ask the questions under ritual here. So I ask you, what does the ritual do, and how is it weird?
I've told you how it's weird. Basically, the practitioner initiates and spends a week in utter silence, whether it be meditating in the dark to a tune, or whether it be doing these jobs and trying to be the shadow, be unheard, unseen as best as possible. And basically what this will do once I complete the veiled ritual, which is at the end of the week, I would say the boon would be to give like a heightened ability to either in its stealth, or being like having a heightened sensory while in shadows, or even a heightened ability into manipulating the shadows. But that's kind of the idea of what he's doing.
Is this a temporary thing?
Honestly, I would want it to be temporary, because it could be temporary depending on the boon. Let me rephrase that. So I guess this could be like me and you kind of communication as to how good I do the Veil of Silence could determine like the boon and its efficacy. You know, is it
Sure.
You know, stuff like that.
Let me just because this is obviously very new for us. I just want to make sure that we are doing it right.
I didn't know there were freaking rituals in here.
Yeah, it's an actual game rule.
I was just making shit up.
Yeah, so like from Blades, like how it's described as a ritual is a lost art of sorcery from before the Cataclysm. Unlike modern arcane techniques that utilize the scientific application of electroplasmic, blah blah blah, rituals depend on strange occult powers and entities to realize their effect, which I feel like we've met with the Great Shadow. To enact a ritual is to come into contact with these abyssal forces and entreat them to do your will. It is a practice not without considerable risk. So finding a ritual source, a PC with a ritual special ability begins with one known ritual. I don't believe Yuki has that. So we are learning a new ritual. So to learn a new ritual, a PC must first find a source. A source may be.
I want it to be his uncle.
Yeah, let me just make sure because I'm sure I'll be fine with that.
I guess lore-wise, that would make the most sense.
Sure. It could be secured as a payoff from a score. Perhaps you steal a ritual book. Blah blah blah. Might also secure a source as a long-term goal by consorting with cultist friends, studying ancient texts, or some other method you devise. So yeah,
that kind of feeds into what Conrad told me to do. That could be an interesting start to it.
So how it says it here is once the source of the ritual is found, you may undertake a long-term project to learn the ritual. Most rituals will require an 8-segment progress clock to learn. So the player and the GM answer questions about the ritual to define what it will do in play and what is required to perform it. And so then you record it for your future reference. And so, yeah, first question of what does the ritual do and how is it weird? And so, how would we? So it's supposed to be from. Let me look at the example here.
Example questions for rituals. Where cannot find them? It's weird because as long as the ward is in place, the person sometime weeps of black blood.
Okay, so I like kind of the example here because I think it kind of matches what Yuki's going for, which it seems like it's kind of a if you were gonna talk mechanics, it's kind of almost like a per score kind of boon, right?
Correct.
So with the example here, the GM has them spending a downtime action to prepare a mixture of tobacco, dream smoke, and crematory ash, which they then smoke, and then they take 3 stress when they perform the ritual, which will be its quality for a fortune roll when challenged by a spirit for what ritual they were doing. So I think we'll do something kind of similar to that.
Okay. And now that is the ritual, or do you still want me to do a clock to create the ritual? I feel as though this is something that's already been created within the Yamakage clan.
Yeah, it says most rituals, but it doesn't have to.
Okay,
it doesn't have to be that. Cool. So I think that would be fine if it's a ritual that the Yamakage already do. The cost I think would be a downtime action plus stress would be the cost. And so the boon, we'll have to figure out how we want to, and it may just be you decide what the boon is, right? And how and maybe the cost changes depending on what the boon actually is, right?
Okay.
But I think the cost is always going to be downtime action and stress.
No, and I like the idea that the stress can change based off of the I guess the tier of the boon is
right.
What would make the most sense. Okay.
Right. So we'll work with that for right now. And so then the last question is, and so I'll have to rewatch to kind of once again get everything that the ritual does. But that's its price. And then what new belief or fear does knowledge of this ritual and its attendant occult forces instill in you?
Ask that question again. I'm sorry. Where's that question?
It's under learning a ritual in the main book, on page 222.
I got you. What a belief or fear does. I feel as though the new belief of this, while understanding, because like I said, it'll go back to what OG was trying to teach me. So the new belief is understanding that the origin of the first shadow wasn't just some god. Maybe it was an actual like Oni, like the first Oni of the Yamakage clan was the original shadow, or something interesting like that. So basically the new belief is that I could become or connect with the original shadow.
Ooh, that is in line with what I had in mind.
Okay.
For so I like, you tell me if this is so like for this first time he does his ritual, maybe the name of the Great Shadow actually comes to him at this point.
Okay, yeah, no, I like that. So like I don't know that its name is Hatsukage, so okay.
Yeah, so so during this
success would be learning the name.
Yeah, so like when he actually does this, he will so right now, because unless he spends the coin to take that downtime to do it, I don't think he would have the action. But it would cost downtime and stress depending on what the boon is for this go around. So if he wants to save that for next time, then that is when he would learn the Great Shadow's name.
I think I used all my coin. I know we have some in the crew, but I guess that would be something I would have to ask the crew if I could use coin, especially for this potential new heist. I mean,
yeah. How does he bring that up to?
Honestly, I think I would. Because like the coin in itself would be the stuff needed for the ritual, correct? Is that what we're
yeah, like that's kind of like because you're spending it for the downtime activity. I guess we were just saying like this is him kind of buying the supplies that he for everything. You know, that's okay. What I guess we can say in fiction is happening.
Yeah, I guess assuming that the whole crew is here, and you know we're still talking about the potential kidnapping, I would bring it up and just be like, there was something also with this particular ritual that I'm doing that I feel would be useful, and it would embolden me with a new purpose and power that could be useful, especially if this mission is to be as quiet as possible. But it would cost resources, and I do ask the crew if that is something that would be something that I could use in this moment. I leave it up to you. Otherwise, I can wait until afterwards. But it would be, I believe it would be beneficial. I have faith that it would be beneficial for our crew. Smoke on the water. To embody it.
Well, I think we were saving our coin for...
Well, out of game. We were saving it for like the tier up, yeah.
Right.
I believe.
And I guess that would be like your thing is like, oh, we're trying to put it in to build assets for the crew, and it'd be like, so then I would, and me, how about in this particular in this next heist, I take no money.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to put in an IOU for the crew, I don't see a problem with that. I think sort of main goal for our savings was just to upgrade the base a little bit, and we don't have enough to do that now. So if we can get paid on this next one, and then be able to do that potentially at the loss of your personal coin, then yeah, I got no problem with it.
Thank you, Benji. Moon?
Everyone else?
I'm in agreement.
Oh, yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
Little
just give a
J and
thumbs
Dre.
Yeah, thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah. So
So I'll take one of the coin away so we have 3 coin in the crew.
and then So yeah. So I think yeah. So this first ritual, kind of describe it to me, and or to describe to everybody, and what kind of boon is Yuki seeking from the Great Shadow at this moment?
So I guess the boon being requested is the not total control of the shadows,
Mhm.
but an extension to where, like, whenever need be, like, not only myself, but I could be the conduit for my team to manipulate the shadows to move in silence.
Okay, so I think we can manifest that as like a boost to his up to you, either to his prowl or to his attune. Kind of makes sense to me.
I think for this go around, I would want it to be towards the attune because of the manipulation of it.
Sure. Okay. But yeah, what is this this first time that we as the audience are seeing him perform this ritual? He has almost certainly performed it with the Yamakagi before around them, but this is kind of the first time we're seeing him do it by himself. Within our show. So what is that? What are we seeing?
So he goes back into his room once he does his final purification. The resources that the crew has given him, he's acquired, like, certain items and talismans. He also went to Oswede to gather some particular things. And so when he gets to the room and he closes the door, he completely turns it dark. And he lights this candle, and this candle, when it lights, it's like this blue flame. And so when he lights it, you see him in his Oni form, and he starts doing the mantra of the Yamakage clan, and then basically praising the Great Shadow. And he pulls out the 2 crystals that he got from the last job. And he shatters them in his hands, and he gives it to the sacrifice. And with that, he cuts his own tongue to give his like, I guess that's the physical manifestation of his sound. And
Okay.
he basically offers that to the Great Shadow. And in doing so, like, he continues the chant, but now it's internally. And then, like, you see the flame moving, and then even with that flame, it's giving off like this ethereal multi shadows, and then, like, those shadows are like dancing in the light. And while he's doing his chant, it's like the light flares up, and you can see behind him, each shadow creates a being, and it goes into each other, and it goes into each other, and it creates this bigger being. And the image of the Great Shadow, it's like a reflection of Yuki, but it's a little bit more terrifying, and it's a little bit more bigger. And there's like these, like, not fey runes, but like these arcane runes that are on the body, and it, like, gives like this wicked smile, and then it encompasses them and then snuffs out the light.
and you hear the whisper as the light is snuffed out, and Tsukage, my name is Hatsukage. Learn it. Our name is Hatsukage. Learn it. And in the voices, they start speaking in different voices. You hear like high pitched, like, our name is Hatsukage. Our name is Hatsukage. Our name is Hatsukage. Our name is Hatsukage. And they just keep repeating it over and over and over and over until you're not sure how much time passes. And
2 weeks.
another lost episode. But you wake up in darkness once more. The name kind of reverberating in your head, but no longer you like hearing the whispers. It's just that they said it so much that it just stuck within you.
Nice. Can I? And I feel like to add on to this, like, putting myself back into my original form, the one that everybody else sees, when Yuki like steps out into the light. Have you seen the Maori people where they have the tattoos that are like on the mouth down?
Mm-hmm.
Think of a similar tattoo now that is on Yuki. That's like the physical manifestation of silence, and it's like in the Yamakage like ritualistic like design.
Okay. Sick. That is fantastic. So yeah, I'd say like that probably took a day, and that boon I think would cost about 3 stress to achieve.
Marking. Cool.
But yeah, Yuki comes out like the next day, and he is he now like in a mode of silence, like he just will not talk now at this point until the next job is done.
Yep.
Okay. So
I guess the ritual I stated was a week, so like a full week
of being silent.
He won't say anything.
Okay. Yeah. So like, did the crew come to a consensus on what job they wanted to run, or were like Banshee and Yuna kind of just going over it?
We're so late already. It's 8:13, so I'm like, we might as well wait till next week to see what other folks say before deciding.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I was not checking the time.
B just loves running this so much he will run all night.
I would keep going.
Yeah, I know, it's a blast.
I was like, we're about to go kidnap some people again. Like, let's go.
Yuna's gonna bully everybody into doing one of hers if she has anything to do with it. So,
yeah, we'll go ahead and cut it there. But fantastic job, man. Love the role play tonight, y'all.
That was good.
Learned a lot about our wacky crew here that we got.
That's right.
Weird.
We got.
That sounds
Let me
weird.
give you a few examples.
I disappear for weeks at a time, and my best friend's ghost. That's pretty weird.
Standard.
Gotta love it.